Good morning, students. Now we are going to study genetic disorders in the chapter of Principle of Inheritance and Variation. Genetic disorders can be broadly classified into two categories: Mendelian disorders and chromosomal disorders. Mendelian disorders are those disorders which occurs because of mutation in one gene or abnormality in single gene, while chromosomal disorders arise because of presence or absence of one complete chromosome. Examples of Mendelian disorders are like hemophilia, color blindness, sickle cell anemia, phenylketonuria, and thalassemia. While chromosomal disorders, in this we will study Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, and Turner syndrome. Now we will study these disorders one by one. First of all, we will study genetic disorders. In genetic disorder, first of all coming to hemophilia. This is sex-linked and recessive disorder. Here, the single protein which is involved in the cascade of blood clotting is affected. So, the person they bleed for a longer duration of time and there are chances of huge blood loss. Here in this, females are carrier because we know that this is a recessive disease. So females, they will act as a carrier and they pass disease to male because we know that males, they inherit X chromosome from the female and possibility of females to be affected is very rare as it will require two recessive allele, and for this male has to be hemophilic and female has to be carrier, only then female progeny can be affected. In this diagram you can see clot formation in a healthy person and see there is an inability to clot in a hemophilic person. Now understand the inheritance of this trait. Here in this Punnett square, you can understand that when female is carrier and male is normal, then only male will be affected. That means only boy child will be affected while girl child will either be carrier or normal. Another genetic disorder, that is color blindness. This is also X-linked recessive disorder. Here the person is unable to differentiate between red and green color. Female passes disease to male and possibility of female to be affected is very rare as it will require two recessive allele. While males to be affected, they need only one affected allele. So I hope you will be able to understand and you will be able to recognize this pattern, what is written on this. Now understand inheritance of this trait. So here I have taken a carrier female and one normal male. So here you can see that affected boy child can be born, but girl child they will be carrier and they will not show any symptom of color blindness. Crisscross inheritance. This is the transmission of gene from mother to son or from father to daughter, and this is observed in the X-linked recessive inheritance. So, in the earlier cross, we saw that when female is carrier, then only boy child will be affected and one of the girl child or 50% of the girl child, they will be carrier. When mother is unaffected and father is affected, then none of the child will show symptom for the disease. All boy child will be normal and only girl child will be carrier. Now coming to another genetic disorder, that is sickle cell anemia. It is caused by the mutation in autosomes, and this is also a recessive disorder. Here, the mutant hemoglobin undergoes polymerization in low oxygen environment, and there is a change in the shape of RBCs, right? It occurs by the substitution of glutamic acid by the valine. So in this diagram, you can see the shape of this RBC. It has become sickle cell. And here in the blood vessel, these have piled up. So they will block the flow of blood. Sickle cell anemia, by the mutation of one gene, there will be so many impact, because if less oxygen will go into the various organ, many disorders will arise. So it is the example of pleiotropy also. Now let us understand the inheritance. Here the N stands for the normal, while S stands for the sickle cell. So this disease passes equally into the male and female, as this is an autosomal disease. So when this will be the situation, then organism will be carrier. For organism to be affected, two affected alleles should be there. Coming to next disorder, that is phenylketonuria. This is also example of pleiotropy. That means single gene can affect many phenotypic character. This is the autosomal disease, and it is caused by the recessive allele. In the normal situation, phenylalanine formed in our body changes into tyrosine. But in the person affected with the disease, there is a lack of enzyme which can cause this reaction. So accumulation of phenylalanine will change it into the phenylpyruvic acid. And because of phenylpyruvic acid, there is so many symptoms. Accumulation of this acid into the brain causes mental retardation. So here you can observe the many symptoms of the phenylketonuria disease. So this is about the inheritance of the disease. Only the organism having two recessive alleles will be affected. Now coming to genetic disorder, thalassemia. This is autosomal and recessive disorder. Here is the less production of hemoglobin in the affected individual. This results into mild and severe anemia. Thalassemia is of two types, alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia. As the name suggests, in alpha thalassemia, production of alpha globulin is affected, while in beta thalassemia, production of beta globulin is affected. So we will study these two thalassemias one by one. First of all, coming to alpha thalassemia. Here, two genes are responsible, so aggregate 4 alleles are responsible, and these are located on the chromosome number 16. So here you can see when the all genes are normal, when no gene is missing, then child is unaffected. When there is a single one gene is missing or it is mutated, then there is the very less sign of anemia, and it will be the silent carrier. When two of the alleles are missing, then person will be showing the traits of thalassemia. When three of the alleles are missing, or if four of the alleles are missing, then severe thalassemia trait will be seen. Coming to beta thalassemia, for this one gene and two alleles are responsible. When both the genes are normal, then there will be the no symptom of disease. When one allele is missing, then there will be mild anemia. When both of the genes are missing, then there will be the severe hampering of beta globulin production and child will be affected. So now we are moving towards chromosomal disorders. First of all, coming to Down syndrome. Here we find the additional copy of chromosome number 21. That means the individual will be having 3 copies of chromosome number 21, while a healthy individual will be having 2 copies of chromosome number 21. In this, individual is short-statured with small round head and furrowed tongue. Mouth is partially open and in the palm, crease is very clearly visible. These individuals are mentally retarded. Now study the inheritance of this trait. Here you can see that every gamete is normal, like this, and like this. But one of the female gamete is having 23 number of autosomes in spite of 22 number of autosomes. And if it is chromosome number 21, then it will lead to Down syndrome. Turner syndrome. Here the karyotype is total number of 45 chromosomes are present and in spite of XX or XY, XO situation is there. The individual will be female but ovaries will be sterile and there will be lack of secondary characters. These are the features for an individual who is affected with this disease. Now inheritance. So here you can see that every gamete is normal except this, where is neither X nor Y chromosome, and with this the individual with Down syndrome is born. Now coming to the last syndrome, that is Klinefelter syndrome. Here in the individual 47 chromosomes are present and the 6 chromosomes are having XX and Y. So one additional copy of X chromosome is present. Overall masculine development is there but feminine feature will be there because of additional X chromosomes. These are the symptoms for the individual showing Klinefelter syndrome. Now let us study the inheritance. So here you can see in this gamete there is non-segregation of chromosome. In this inheritance I have shown that male is producing such kind of gametes, but female can also produce a gamete with 2 X chromosome. So when it will fuse with the male gamete having single Y chromosome, same situation will arise. So this was all about genetic disorders. After attempting the assignment, you will feel more confident about the content. Thank you.